record this. So if we want to go ahead, if you guys want to take the time and introduce yourselves, welcome the students that are here. I think we have a few more that are going to join in just a little bit. Um, thank you, Mia. And this is being recorded, so we can put it on our website so other students could enjoy it as well. So starting with Norma, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name is Norma Beniche, and I am an assistant director for transfer outreach, transfer initiatives for UC Irvine. Glad to be here.
Okay, go ahead. Saw you on mute.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I am Chelly Gonzalez. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions overseeing transfer services at UC Santa Barbara. Thank you for joining us today. I'll hand it over to Leah.
Thank you so much. Hi, my name is Leah. I'm a senior transfer peer advisor at Cal State University Fullerton for outreach recruitment and orientation.
All right, perfect. So Norma did ask to go first, as she is also manning the front desk and doesn't want to get pulled away. So we're going to go ahead and start with UC Irvine and then maybe UCSB and then Cal State Fullerton, if you guys are okay with that. Okay, great. So take it away, Norma.
Thank you. So happy to be here and happy National Transfer Student Success Week. I know that the theme is around HSI and how certain universities have that special designation. So I did have a really great video clip. I just want to make sure it's optimized. Okay. To kind of kick off the presentation before I go into talking more about UCI and admissions. But just to start, you'll get to hear from some students who have benefit from being part of the UCI community. So.
My experience here at UCI has been wonderful. It has actually expanded a lot of opportunities for me here. It has supported me through many different types of support systems, such as the counseling center, internships, so many different ways that I can get connected on campus.
UCI has first and foremost been extremely generous to me. Their aid as far as student services and financial aid, they've made my education here great.
HSI stands for Hispanic Serving Institution, and that's a federal designation that Congress created in the 1990s. And it recognizes campuses that have at least 25% undergraduates who are Latino, and over half of all students receive some type of financial aid. But it means more than that.
Rather than simply enrolling Latino students, UCI wants to serve Latino students and build capacity so that we have a Latino thriving campus.
We have a wide range of support programming for undergraduates who come here. So that's really what it means to be a Latino thriving institution. So that's things like the Student Outreach and Retention Center, where we offer academic success workshops. We help students with things like study skills, time management, exploring options such as research and graduate school. We provide social support and emotional support. So we're really thinking about the whole student.
They've opened the way for me to find research, which is actually what I want to do after college. I want to get a PhD.
After graduation, I will be doing my master's program in direct practice in child and family services.
We have over 15 outreach programs in our local community. We work with parents to help inform them about higher education options for their students and also how to navigate the college-going process. To become a Hispanic serving institution will make UCI eligible for a range of federal funding, not just to support Latino students on the campus, but to support all students on the UCI campus for success.
And so bringing those minds to campus and supporting them from day one through graduation can only push innovation, can only push UCI and the University of California to its fullest potential, I believe.
Thanks for tuning in. So yeah, I wanted to share that because I am a proud alumna of UCI myself and have really seen the growth that we've had in being able to diversify the campus and being able to offer so many opportunities now, and just to kind of, again, just see, just more students of color, and in particular Latinx students. So I graduated back in 2000. I studied criminology, law, and society, and I loved UCI so much that I just want to talk about my experiences, and also wanting to help students find their own pathway and to know that this could be a place for them. So just some notable aspects about UCI. We're definitely recognized as being a top 10 public university. A lot of interest amongst our transfer student populations. We're definitely doing a lot to support students in terms of financial success, but also networking, and also even ranked 3 in diversity, according to the Wall Street Journal and the Times Higher Education. So, some really great accolades. That's all media stuff, but in terms of like life on campus and what to expect, if you've never visited us before, we're in beautiful Orange County, which is wedged right between LA and San Diego. If you know where Disneyland is, we're only 15 miles away. And we're not on the beach like my colleague who's going to present later, but we're not far from the beach. I guess we can call ourselves beach adjacent, only 5 miles from the ocean, which was great to have. The surrounding environment around Irvine is really lovely. There's a lot of like nature, but it is very suburban, a lot of residential, and a lot of things to do around the area if you are into the outdoors or more of like a social scene. Students here can really find ways to take breaks from those crazy midterms and finals. But yeah, in terms of the life on campus, we have a really rich community of student clubs and organizations. We offer opportunities to study abroad, which for transfer students can be a possibility. Just because you're here for 2 to 3 years doesn't mean you can't engage in that. We're a Division I sports offerings. We have club sports and intramurals as well. And as was mentioned, being part of a UC means that you're in a research-based university with opportunities to engage in your own research opportunities. And of course, you got to think about the next step and knowing that when you're here, whatever goals that you have, be it grad school or looking into the workforce, we have a wonderful division of career pathways to help serve students. Not only are we recognized as an HSI school, but we're also recognized as an ANAPISI serving institution, which stands for Asian American and Native American Pacific Islander communities. We have in place a Black Thriving Initiative. We're very first gen aware and first gen forward as a campus, gender inclusive. And we did rank 5th in the US in terms of awarding bachelor's degrees to minority students. And in terms of what was mentioned as, we want students to thrive, we want to serve students. There's just a select number of centers I wanted to highlight here. Everything from cultural identity, connections to just your basic needs. UCI has wonderful support for disability services. We have a dedicated Dream Center. And in lieu of an EOPS office, our support services that would benefit EOPS students are housed under our Student Success Initiatives, or SSI for short. And then we have also our Latinx Resource Center, our LGBT Resource Center, and Veteran Services as well. But my favorite being that you are at the community college and looking to transfer. Our Transfer Student Center is amazing, wonderful staff and programming catered to different underserved populations, offering those support services like we do, for EOPS or SSI here at UCI. UCI has different programs for foster youth, for student parents and families, for Dream Scholars. Definitely the best place to kind of start your UCI experience if you do choose to attend. And I also want to make mention of financial aid and scholarships. Being part of the UC system, there is this wonderful Blue and Gold Opportunity Plan. This is UC wide. And if you apply for financial aid, you are given automatic consideration for this Blue and Gold opportunity. It's not the name of the scholarship per se, but every UC, if you qualify through applying for FAFSA or the California Dream application, there's certain criteria that can lead to coverage of tuition and fees, and possibly even more, considering the full cost of attendance. So just being aware of that. I know there's some resources about finding out what potential financial aid you may be able to receive through the net price calculator. So I encourage you to take a look at that as well. But I did want to talk a little bit about the admissions cycle. No matter where you are in the process, I think it's kind of good to know how the UC system sort of operates. You do apply about a year in advance. And currently we are in the fall 25 admission cycle. So we are accepting applications currently. As you can see, the application opens up in August. If you're interested in the TAG program, say for future cycles or for the next year, the TAG filing period is in September, followed by October through November for the general or official UC application. This year, since November 30th is on a Saturday, you get a special bonus couple days to procrastinate until December 2nd if you want to submit your official application. In tandem with the admission process, the financial aid kind of comes around December. It's a separate application, so don't forget to either complete the FAFSA or the California Dream Act application. And then a special deadline for transfer applicants, seeing that you are applying about a year in advance, you may have courses in progress. So there's a checkpoint in January called the Transfer Academic Update, or TAU, where you would want to report your final fall grades and any updates to your spring schedule. So look out for that email if you are applying about December. And this is something that's mandatory for all UCs, all UC transfer applicants. And this one TAU submission will be applicable for all the UCs you apply to. UCI releases transfer decisions all at the same time and usually in early April. And then if you weigh in all your admission offers and would like to attend, the deadline to let your campus know is June 1st. To be eligible for transfers, we are giving priority to junior level California Community College applicants. So that could be you, since you go to a California community college. Now, what it means to be junior level is that you have or will have at least 60 semester UC transferable courses by the end of spring before you transfer in the fall. Within those 60 units, there's a specific 7-course pattern of general education requirements. As you can see here, it's 2 English, 1 math, 4 additional GEs, and at least 2 different areas out of the 3 that you see there. A lot of students do follow a program called a GETC at the community colleges. It's not required for admission, but we do highly recommend it. And if you do IGETC, that will certify your GE, not just for admissions, but towards graduation after you transfer. That means no additional GE necessary after transfer. Wanted to, again, make mention that transfer admission is very dedicated to your specific major. UCI has a lot of different academic units, and your major has a home in one of these respective units. We have everything from arts, humanities, the STEM areas, and the social sciences. Among our most popular majors at UCI are business, computer sciences, biology, psychology, But we do have, like I said, some really great programs in all disciplines. Like I mentioned, mine, criminology is one of also amongst the most popular. But yeah, in terms of preparing for admission, you also need to become friends with this lovely website called assist.org. You can go on Assist to not only see which classes from Barstow are UC transferable, but there's a whole other section where you can look up your specific major per UC or CSU, and see specifically for that major if anything is required, if anything is recommended, and specifically what at Barstow would be the equivalent to that university course. So really awesome resource. Another really great tool I want to introduce if you haven't and you're kind of early in your journey or, kind of planning ahead, the UC system has something called the UC Transfer Admission Planner, or UC TAP for short. This is a tool where you actually need to create this account if you wish to apply for the Transfer Admission Guarantee, or TAG. Really easy to do. It's a free online tool. But it actually has a lot of really great benefits if you're wanting to explore, if you want to communicate with, UC reps, if you want to apply for TAG. And then ultimately, if you create this account, your TAP information will have all your courses. So when it comes time to apply for the official UC application, you can just put your TAP ID and it'll import all your coursework, which is a great time saver, not having to input all those things again. If you want to learn more about the Transfer Admission Guarantee, UCI is actually one of 6 UCs that participate. And again, this is designed specifically for California community colleges. You can only tag to one UC, but I suggest that every single one of you who can potentially qualify should go for it. It's non-binding, there's no fee, and the requirements do vary from campus to campus. So I included the QR code for a resource called the Tag Matrix. And this is a great place to see all 6 campuses and to know specifically per campus, like what the GPA is. For UC Irvine, for example, it's a 3.4. And like what other certain requirements to look out for. Mind you, it's not available for all majors necessarily for each campus, but this will tell you exactly like those little details. If you're applying regular admission, of course, we want to make sure you meet the requirements for eligibility, the 7-course pattern, your major prerequisites. But since we get so many amazing students, we do have to look beyond just like the minimum and our selection process. So UCI follows what's known as a comprehensive review. So we do get to read the application in full. It's actually read by at least 2 people, possibly 3, and it's taking into account your full story. So we'll get to see your academic journey, but along with that, sort of activities and things you've been involved in, the ways you've persevered. And mind you, we see you as transfer students. You're not, competing with the first year or the high school applicants. And it's really just taking recognition that you've dedicated your studies and along with your life context. So there's a lot of things you can highlight. A lot of times transfer students tend to be shy or humble about things that are, just taken for granted, responsibilities you have, work-life balance, time management. There are, some students that might have families that they're responsible for. So we want to hear that story. And so the best place to really share your voice is through the personal insight questions. These are not meant to be essays by any means, and really is a way for us as readers, as admission counselors, to get to learn more about you. You'll have 4 different prompts to respond to. One that's required and related to your major preparation, and the others are going to be different topics that you can pull from. There's 7 prompts to choose from, and you only need to pick 3 additional ones. There'll be topics around leadership, community service, challenges, anything and everything within your college years can definitely fall into any of these prompts. And so for those of you who are applying, I just wanted to, make a special mention to don't shy away from this. Don't let it feel stressful, because really it's meant to be a place not to judge you, but to really learn more about you as a potential student within the UC. If you are interested in staying in touch with us, you can scan the QR code here. It's a way to receive reminders and more information about UCI, but you can also follow us. We have our Instagram at UCI Transfer Admissions. We tend to do a bunch of IG lives and put our kind of postings of things going on campus, or you can visit our admissions website, admissions.uci.edu. But with that, I wanted to leave it open to any questions that you might have. I think there was something on the chat. Oh, I see that someone shared the planner. Thanks, Jelly. That's a great resource. If questions do come up, instead of an email address, I'm going to put in here our admissions inquiry form. This is a way to email UCI directly, and we have admission representatives that represent the whole state of California. You can expect a response within 2 to 3 business days. We also have virtual events that we're hosting through the end of November, and virtual one-on-one appointments. If you do want to meet with a UCI admissions counselor, the second link there will connect you to how to register for that. And then I wanted to share a link to the video that I had earlier, kind of breaking down more in detail kind of how the HSI initiative is grown, and just different milestones and updates that have come from that. But with that, happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Norma. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And then up next is Shelly from UCSB.
Hello, everyone. Let me pull up my screen. Okay. So hi, I'm Chely Gonzalez from UCSB, Office of Admissions, and I'm going to share some information about UC Santa Barbara. Some of this might be familiar from what we just heard from UCI, as there is overlap in terms of our system and what you need to work on. So I will maybe skip some of these slides, but I will add any additional context to what Norma previously mentioned. So for Santa Barbara, we are located on the Central Coast. We're about 90 miles north of LA. We are what we consider a mid-sized campus. So we have about 23,000 undergraduates, 3,000 graduates. So us having a large undergraduate student population also allows for the opportunity for undergrads to get involved in research, to work closely with their faculty. We are right on the beach. We're a beautiful campus. So if you haven't visited UCSB, please check us out. Come and join us for one of our daily campus tours or on-campus presentations. But beyond just our beautiful location, we have a lot of great things to offer students as well. So in terms of our transfer admission process, we only admit students at junior level transfer. You do apply a year in advance, as the rest with our colleagues, and we only admit for fall term. So you self-report everything on the UC application. You must complete anything that's required by the end of the spring term prior to transfer. And you, as a transfer student, must also select a major within one of our 3 colleges at UCSB. In terms of the requirements and what we're looking for, similar to what Norma mentioned from UCI. So the eligibility, what we're looking for is also that 7-course pattern. We're looking for at least those 60 UC transferable units. For the UC system as a transfer applicant, the minimum is a 3.4. However, for UCSB, we do recommend that students have around a 3.4 for most of our majors. However, we admit students from like 4.0, 3.0, but again, to make yourself a more competitive applicant, you really want to have a 3.4 or somewhere around there, again, depending on your major, as some majors might be a little bit more selective. In terms of required major prep, there are some majors on our campus that we consider selective, and I'll share what those are in a second. But for us, what that means is that there's certain major prep courses that have to be completed prior to transfer in order for you to be admitted into that particular major. So there's also some majors where we calculate a major prep GPA, and you do want to make sure that you're completing those courses with a C grade or better. And there's all that information available on our website. And we have a handout that I'll share in a second to know exactly whether or not your major is one of the selected majors, so that you're working towards completing any of that required major prep. If your major is non-selective, there might still be some recommended major prep. We encourage all transfer applicants to complete as much major prep as possible, but definitely anything that's a requirement must be completed prior to admission. So if you see one of your majors on this screen, then that means that your major is what we consider selective. So for us, within our College of Letters and Science, that's any of our majors within our biological sciences, chemistry majors, economics majors, mathematics majors, physics majors, and performance-based majors, because our performance-based majors do have like an audition component or a supplemental application component, which makes the process for those selective. All the majors within our College of Engineering are what we consider selective. So chemical engineering, computer engineering, computer science, electrical engineering, and mechanical engineering. And then any of the majors within our College of Creative Study, as those have a supplemental application as part of that admissions and review process. So again, if you are applying to one of our selected majors, make sure that you're working towards fulfilling that required major prep. For all other majors, you still want to look at our major prep guide, work towards fulfilling anything that's recommended. But again, if it's recommended, it's not a requirement for admission purposes. It just helps you as a student progress within that major. So outside of that, you want to make sure that you're meeting our minimum transfer eligibility requirements, those 7 in course pattern, the 60 units. And make sure that if you are taking any courses that are sequential, so usually like chemistry series, physics, things like that, you want to make sure that you're completing those at the same institution, at the same community college, to avoid any potential gaps in the content. This is our major prep guide. I'll share the link to this in a sec, but this is really what you want to be looking at. It has all the majors that UCSB offers, and it lists whether or not those courses are required for admissions or just recommended. And as mentioned, there are certain majors where we are looking for a particular major prep GPA. So you want to make sure that you're taking note of that. And as mentioned earlier, you want to make sure that you're familiar with assist.org and that you're looking at assist.org specifically to know which courses to take at your community college that will articulate to either the recommended or the required course. And UCSB is one of the campuses that participates in TAG. And so TAG is a really great opportunity for all transfer students. TAG submission period is in September. So for those of you that are not applying this year, that are applying maybe next year, you submit your TAG application the September of the fall term that you're applying for transfer. And it is a really great opportunity for students if you're eligible, because it does guarantee your admission. So we know the transfer process can be stressful, it can be daunting, but if you're able to submit a TAG and have a guarantee, then that really just helps release some of that stress, right? So to qualify for TAG, you must submit your TAG application in September, and then also submit your UC application and just make sure that your majors are matching. For UCSB, we are looking for a 3.4 overall UC transferable GPA by the end of the fall term that you're applying for transfer. In addition to that, you must meet minimum transfer eligibility requirements. If you are tagging to one of our selected majors, you must also meet the major prep requirements. And TAG is not available for our College of Engineering, and it's not available for majors within creative studies. It's available for majors within the College of Letters and Science, with the exception of anything that requires an audition. So you can't tag to that, but you can tag to anything else that is available for TAG. The other great tool that was mentioned earlier is the Transfer Admission Planner. So if you do not have a UC TAP account, please make sure that you create one. If you are applying this year, maybe you don't have to worry about the planner at this point. You maybe just want to focus on the UC application itself. But if you are a future applicant, if you're applying next year or sometime in the future, this is a really great tool. So it does allow us to communicate with you, to invite you to maybe some of our summer programs, some of our events that we have for transfer students. And it's just a really great way to know exactly where you are in terms of tracking your UC transfer readiness. So it'll let you know exactly what GPA you have, how many UC transferable units you've completed, towards meeting those 60, the 7-course pattern, all that great stuff. The other things I want to mention is that we do have designated admissions counselors. And at the end of my presentation, I'll also put the link for that. So if you want to have a one-on-one session with myself or one of our other admissions counselors, you're able to make a 20-minute appointment and we'll sit down with you and we'll talk about your major, just any questions you may have about the transfer process. If you're currently working on your applications, we'll be happy to support you through that. So just know that there are resources available to you. I won't dive too much into our Blue and Gold Opportunity Plan because it was mentioned previously, but again, just reinforcing that this is something that is UC system-wide. So this will be at any UC. If your family's income is less than $80,000, your fees and tuition will be covered by free money. So I know costs tends to be a concern for students when looking at the UCs, but we assure you that there's opportunities like the Blue and Gold Opportunity Plan or other scholarships and grants available to students. So don't let that deter you from considering the UCs, preparing for the UCs, or applying to the UCs. At UCSB specifically, I'll talk a little bit more about like the resources and what we have for students. So we do have a transfer student center on campus, and this really serves as the main hub for our transfer students. This is where you're going to find advising, you're going to have resources. The transfer student center collaborates with a lot of the other offices on our campus to provide transfer specific and transfer centered workshops, information, advising. So things from the Career Center, information and support from our academic support and tutoring for particular courses that we know we've identified have been maybe a little challenging for incoming transfer students. There's support for that. This is also where you can meet with academic advisors that will meet one-on-one with you to set up your ed plan to see what the next 2 years are going to look like. They also have peer educators, so students that have been at UCSB as transfer students that are here to support you and to share their experiences with you and for you to learn from them. You can also connect with other graduate students, faculty, and there's a lot of like networking and social opportunities as well to start building community with other transfer students. Some additional student support programs that we have at UCSB is our Educational Opportunity Program. So similar to what maybe like an EOPS might offer in terms of support at your community college, but EOP provides academic counseling. They also have peer mentors. They have a summer program for incoming transfer students where they get to you get to explore the campus, you get to build connections with other incoming transfers, you get to connect with key people, staff, resources on the campus. So it really helps build that up. They also oversee 5 cultural resource centers that we have at UCSB. So there's a space for everyone here to build community, to get support, both from staff, faculty, but then also from your peers. We also have the Office of Black Student Development. We have the Multicultural Center. We have a space called El Centro, which is a very key space for Latinx students here at UCSB. We also have an undocumented student services office, and as I mentioned, the Transfer Student Center as well. So some of the resources specifically for Latinx students, UCSB is also in HSI. So we currently have just short of 30% of Latinx student body, and we just got our director of HSI initiatives at UCSB. She was also a transfer student, so it's really great because she's coming in with that lens of really supporting students on our campus. But outside of that, there's also student initiatives. So there's over 17 Latinx specific identified student organizations. There's, if you want to be part of Greek life, there's opportunities for that. We have the annual Latinx graduation. And as I mentioned, there's the Resource Center, El Centro, and then Ondas is a space that provides academic support for first generation college students. So one of the things I love about UCSB is that there's a lot of support and there's a lot of resources for students. And the timeline was already shared, but if you are currently applying, just make sure that you have all these deadlines down, that you reach out for help and support. If you're currently working on your application, that you don't miss any of these because these are all super important. So just make sure that you're on track of that. If you're a future applicant, just know that this whole process does take about a year. So as you're looking towards applying in the upcoming years, again, make sure that you're reaching out to admissions counselors, your current counselors at your campus, so that you have all the requirements done, that you're working towards fulfilling everything, and that you're right on track for transfer. And lastly, you can follow us on Instagram. UCSB Life is run by our admissions interns. And so that gives you more of a student perspective, student lens to UCSB. And UCSB Admissions is our admissions page where you'll get more admissions-based information. Additional resources, you can always reach us at admissions@ucsb.edu. Send us an email with any of your questions, and we'll get back to you. We also have our admissions page on our website, our transfer resource playlist on YouTube. So a lot of our webinars are recorded and are available there. We also have like snippets towards the UC application that you can check out. And you can also join our mailing list. Great. Are there any questions for UCSB? No, okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I haven't been to your campus in probably over 20 years, so I think I need to get back there soon.
Super. We would love to have you.
Yeah. All right. And then last but not least, we have Leah from Cal State Fullerton. So there you go, Leah, your turn.
Thank you so much. You guys did such amazing presentations. I absolutely love them. Let me go ahead and share my screen real fast. Let's go ahead and present. Alrighty, so everybody can see my screen. We're good to go?
Yep, we
Alrighty.
can see it.
Amazing. So, hi, my name is Leah. I am representing Cal State Fullerton. This is our transfer highlights presentation. Pretty much, we are just going to be going over what you need as a transfer student to transfer to our school. We will also be offering a CSU insight. You know, we learned a lot about the UC system, which is amazing. So luckily, we will be able to give you some insight what it'd be like to not only transfer to our school, but if maybe you're interested in transferring to other CSUs, you know, it's a very similar system. I will kind of give you fair warning. There are going to be an ample amount of QR codes in this presentation. So feel free to, if you're watching this on the website, pause. You can scan it, or if you're watching this now, take a screenshot or take a picture. But other than that, let's go ahead and get started. So a little bit about me. As you know, I'm a senior transfer peer advisor. I am currently a student at Cal State Fullerton. I'm getting my double major in sociology and in American studies. However, I am also a transfer student as well. So I transferred from Fullerton College with an associate's degree in sociology, or actually got two in social work and in sociology. And I want to give a little insight of why I chose Cal State Fullerton to begin with as my school. Well, first things first, it was a really close commute for me personally. I was at Fullerton College and I could just transition right into Cal State Fullerton. So it was a very easy, commute for me. But also, it was a really transfer-friendly school for me. We have a large percentage of students who are transfer students. And essentially, I've got to meet a lot of different students and a lot of different friends I've made in a lot of departments. It's very transfer focused, which is absolutely amazing. Another opportunities was essentially it's very first generation forward as well. So essentially, I'm a first generation student, one of first my family to go to college, and we have a lot of great programming and a great opportunities for first generation students to not only get a fulfilling college experience, but feel prepared to leave with their degrees and to enter the workforce with all the knowledge essentially they were able to empower them. So kind of moving along here. So a little bit about our school. We have a total of 8 academic colleges with over 100 degrees and programs for students to be able to choose from. We have over 40,000 students enrolled. And these are our top 5 transfer majors, which is business administration, art, computer science, psychology, and kinesiology. So we service a large number of different essentially programs on campus, which is amazing. And then kind of going on. So just want to talk about our accolades a little bit. We were ranked top 1% best colleges in America. We were ranked number 2 in California for enrolling transfer students. We're a very transfer friendly college. And we are a top performer on social mobility in the nation. Also, Excellencia. I'm so sorry if I missaid that, but we do have the seal of Excellencia for intentionally serving Latinx students as well, which is honestly really amazing. Alrighty, looking at our transfer eligibility requirements. So very similar to the other UCs, we are an upper division transfer school, meaning you need to have a total of 60 semester transferable units to come to our campus. And this includes 10 general education courses, which equates to about 30 transferable units. And within these general education courses, you have the golden four completed, which is courses within the categories of oral communication, written communication, critical thinking, and mathematics. We also ask to have a qualifying GPA for students, as well as being good standing with the last institution you're attending. So that would be Barstow for all of our students here. One thing we do highly recommend for students is to meet with their transfer counselors. So the transfer center at Barstow, please go ahead and meet with the transfer counselor to make sure you are on track to be able to transfer, making sure all of your essentially units and everything are in order. And also maybe you're maybe missing something, or maybe you need to take some more time. They'll be able to assist you immensely with that as well. So kind of moving on. So let's talk a little bit about essentially Cal State Fullerton and impaction. We are impacted across all majors. And essentially what impaction means is that there are more qualified candidates than there are spots, essentially, or seats on campus for those students. So that's why we rank applications based on GPA. Unfortunately, we do not ask for essentially letters of recommendation or written statements and things like that. So we really do rank it based off of GPA and the application you submit through the Cal State University application portal. Let's go ahead and take a look. So yeah, pretty much we are impacted. However, Transfer students are typically much more competitive versus first-time first years, which is honestly amazing. And also another great way to make yourself competitive is earning an associate's degree to transfer. You may see ADT or an associate's in arts to transfer or an associate's in science to transfer. And essentially, these are kind of degrees that you can get on the community college level that give you a much more competitive application compared to other students. Additionally, it also does give you a zero point 0.1 GPA bump. So let's say you're at a 2.9 GPA and you're trying to get to that 3.0. When you apply to Cal State Fullerton, essentially you are going to be admitted at that 3.0, essentially. Or if you're coming in at a 3.2, we'll evaluate you on a 3.3. So that's pretty much how the ADT works. However, I will say we do have a 77% admissions acceptance rate as of fall 2024. So when people kind of throw on the word impaction, it can be kind of intimidating. However, when you break it down, you realize more so kind of the odds are in your favor, especially as transfer students. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and talk about essentially the application. So pretty much we have two application periods. The two application periods are for fall and for spring. So this is something I do kind of want to emphasize in this presentation because unfortunately for the past two application periods, I have seen this quite a bit with students, is kind of getting when they need to get classes completed mixed up. So for the fall semester application, you must complete all required courses by spring. So let's say you need to finish that 60 units, you need to finish some ADT stuff, or you need to get one of your Golden 4 completed. It must be completed by spring of the previous semester. And then moving into the fall application, October 1st through December 2nd is our open application window. January is our change of major deadline. April is the official transcript deadline with in-progress grades if you are taking courses in the spring. May is our intent to enroll and pay deadline. So between April and May, you will be hearing from us whether or not you have been accepted into the university. And July is the final official transcript and document deadline. So that's when you submit transcripts with spring in progress grades. Now, spring semester application is a little bit different. It is a shorter application period. So essentially, we don't have as many deadlines. However, the deadlines are shorter. So for spring, you must complete all required classes by the previous summer, not fall, by summer, essentially. The reason it's not by fall is because, again, our applications are shorter. August 1st through the 31st is our application window. September is our change of major deadline. October is our intent to enroll and pay deadline. And then between October and November is when you will kind of, or September through October, I should say, is when you will hear from us on essentially if you have been admitted into the university. And then November is that official transcript and final document deadline. Now, a special note on this, these timelines are subject to change. For example, our fall deadlines used to be October 1st through November 31st. However, to kind of, make it easier for a lot of students, we decided to extend our deadline to match the UCs. And so now it's October 1st through December 2nd. So you'll see there is a QR code at the top. That's essentially going over admissions deadlines as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next slide. So our team essentially here at Cal State Fullerton has decided that we want to throw out some transfer tips for you guys to kind of make you guys, feel more secure in your transferring and to kind of give you some specialized guides on essentially what you need to have a very successful transfer. So the first things first is our CSU transfer guide. So this guide is not just Cal State Fullerton, it's all of the 23 CSUs in California. Now, this guide is essentially a step-by-step application guide. So when you are applying and you're doing your self-report, putting in all of your personal information and things like that into the application, this guide will tell you how to do all of it. I refer to this guide all the time when I'm helping students. It's absolutely amazing. This is something that you should have pulled up with you as you're filling out your application for all the CSUs that you may be applying to. And essentially, it's just really great. You just Control F, look up whichever you need. We also recommend that when you are applying, you have your official transcripts or a copy of your transcripts pulled up next to you as you're filling out the application. It's going to be much easier and you're able to kind of catch like certain little details here and there. The next step is, I already was talking about admissions deadlines earlier. The reason I bring this up again is just because we are an impacted campus and all of our deadlines are very strict. It's very rare that a student usually is able to be able to come into the campus past deadlines. We send you ample reminders and things like that. So if you are applying to Cal State Fullerton or maybe any other CSUs, please go ahead and put those in your calendar, because if you miss those deadlines, there's a good chance you're not going to be fully admitted into the school. The other tip we have for you is utilizing the transfer planner. Now, very similar to the UC TAP, CSU does have a transfer planner for students. So this is where you're able to input all of your transcripts, and you are able to pretty much pick whichever programs you want to take from any of the 23 CSUs in California. And then you are able to see how on track are you to transfer to Cal State Fullerton. This just kind of puts all of your transcripts into perspective, and you're able to kind of see everything. Honestly, I wish I really had this transfer planner when I was transferring from Fullerton College to Cal State Fullerton. It would have made everything much easier and far less confusing. And I would probably feel more on track with what my transfer counselor was talking about whenever we'd have meetings about advising. So definitely utilize a transfer planner. It's a great tool. Also, starting this application period in October, they're having a jumpstart program where essentially, if you are filling everything out in the transfer planner, you can apply what you put in the transfer planner into your application. So your application process is easier and also has less errors. So you're having a much easier time navigating that application. Okay, so we're going to go over the CSU tuition overview. Now, keep in mind, this slide is for all CSUs. It's an average. It's not necessarily specific to Cal State Fullerton. However, you see, Cal States in general are a much more affordable school, and obviously we do have ample aid that we usually students are accepted upon. And so this just kind of gives you a good perspective on what the cost averages are. But if you are interested in the cost averages for Cal State Fullerton, which Cal State Fullerton is one of the most affordable CSUs out there, go ahead and scan this QR code. It's going to take you to our Student Business Services page. They're the one that manages tuition and costs and things like that. And there are great guides on there that shows you essentially what your tuition is going to be per semester and also per year, and where your money is going. So it's going to tell you what the fees and everything are and where it's going to. So that QR code is for that link. And let's go ahead and talk about our resources. So what we have to offer you as a student. So the two pretty important resources that students definitely should know about when they're first entering the campus is our student success centers. Now, these are our major specific advising and guidance centers. They're in each of our academic colleges, and it's essentially students get to meet with advisors specific to their major and be able to really hammer out what their next few years are going to look like at Cal State Fullerton. The Career Center is another great resource. I have been to Career Center so many times, getting my resume checked out, getting my cover letter, cleaned up, getting essentially researching graduate school. So if any of you are interested in graduate school or any kind of maybe like medical school, things like that, the Career Center does offer career specialists. They'll be able to assist you in essentially figuring out what schools are going to best fit for you, what you need to apply. And then if also you're looking to jump straight from undergrad to the job market, they can help you out essentially with, internships, career searches, things like that. And we also offer a lot of different advising events for career, as well as we do have essentially career and internship expos every semester, which is amazing. So here's additionally some of our other campus resources. So we have a student health center, we have a counseling and psychological services, we have a student recreation center, we have a rock climbing wall. I've climbed on that wall a few times, and let me tell you, it's really amazing. We have a police station, we have a basic needs services, we have a disability support services, our DSS. We also have some additional resources concerning student identity. So we have our educational opportunity program, we have our male success initiative. We have TAPS, which is Transfer Adult Reentry and Parent and Pregnancy Programming. They do have an I Am First program for first generation students that is award winning. And really, I have had friends and classmates who have been in that program. They absolutely loved it. They felt very supported and very informed as they were navigating higher ed as a first generation student. We have Project Rebound, as well as our Veterans Resource Center. We also have DIRC, so it's our Diversity Initiative and Resource Centers. And these resource centers are really great because they cater to all different communities and different student identity bases at Cal State Fullerton. This is where you can meet somebody, be a part of a community. You can get assistance, maybe like clothes or legal advice as well. So these essentially resource centers are really great for students who are looking to connect and also looking for additional resources. Finally, we have our Associated Student Incorporated. That's our student body on campus. They manage our 300 plus clubs and organizations on campus. We also have a 18 Division One athletic sports department. And also our housing residential is absolutely amazing. I know that we are getting some off-campus housing pretty soon, which is going to be amazing. Other than that, this is pretty much some contact information you guys might want to keep down. So this is our admissions. So if you have questions about submitting transcripts and whatnot, this is the people you go to. Orientation. So once you're admitted, if you have questions about essentially how to complete orientation or, things like that. If you want to get campus tour, we have beautiful campus tours. Actually, this is right here. This is Elijah. He's one of our tour guides. We call them our Titan ambassadors. He is absolutely amazing. I took a tour with him one time and he was just so knowledgeable and so fun. Also financial aid as well and housing. We have those additional contact information as well. And then finally, if you want to meet with a transfer peer advisor, get additional information about what it takes to transfer, if you want additional information about your major, about your college, or anything else you want to learn about Cal State Fullerton, a QR code goes straight to our Calendly links. So there's 4 of us. I am one of them. So it's a free service. You can just schedule with us, and then we'll be able to have a half-hour conversation with you about any questions you may have. You can also email us and call us. We are here Monday through Friday, 8 through 5. We're always here to support you. So other than that, that is pretty much it for me. I'm open to any questions.
All right, I know a few of our students had to leave, so we only have one left. Jalen, if you have any questions. If
I
not,
wanted to know,
oh, perfect, go for it.
sorry, I wanted to know more about the nursing program.
The nursing, which school? Cal State Fullerton?
Yes.
Okay, amazing. Okay, awesome. So yeah, our nursing program, I kind of like to call it the college in the college. It's kind of its own entity. And pretty much it's a smaller court for sure, and it is much more competitive. However, due to this, the College of Nursing has essentially their own prospective student advising. So if you want to get your transcripts and your stuff evaluated for essentially if you're ready to essentially transfer into that schooling as well, they do have that. You know what? While I am here, I'm going to post in the chat for you, Jalen, the information sessions and the one-on-one advising that they do with nursing students. So they'll be able to talk to you about it, and then you'll be able to investigate more and kind of get more information from them.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so if there aren't any other questions, thank you so much to everyone for showing up today. I really appreciate this. I'm going to get this on our website and let all our students know that there's a bunch of good information for them to learn about you guys. And hopefully we can get out to your campuses. I know we did UC Irvine in the spring last year. We're going to Cal State Fullerton on one of our trips next Friday. We got to get Santa Barbara in there too. I want to go to that one again. My cousin actually graduated from there, so little alumni in the house. So thanks again. We really appreciate it, and we will hopefully see you guys soon.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
bye.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.